Before I explain the whole modified dream thing, I'm gonna explain what happened last night. So, you have a modified dream. It's weird. It's obviously something that someone else is creating for your brain. Okay? I'm woken up from the dream by three extremely loud beeps. Eh, extremely loud. Okay? The police tried to send me some sort of message. I didn't get it fully. So, go outside. After having the obviously modified dream, but before I go outside, I literally called it. I said to myself, I guarantee you, since I just had a modified dream, just like the last time, there's gonna be a police officer right next to my house. Right next to my house. So I go outside. I walk to the place where the police usually, it's right next to my house. There's a police officer there, Officer 22. In disbelief almost because I can't believe they just did that to me. And there's a police officer outside my house again, further proving my theory that they have something fitted out in the vehicles that has the ability to do this to you. EMS, fire department trucks, and the police vehicles. They're all appropriate size for such a technology. Specifically, the EMS is a really good size for whatever kind of computers they could fit the thing with. And they could definitely fit the thing with computers because they already have computers inside the fucking truck. The ambulances have computers in them. All right, so I go on a walk. When I come back from my walk, the police officer is still there, but he sees me this time and he decides to leave. So I continue walking around. I catch a few gang stalkers. And then I come back to the house and I notice that the police officer comes back just before I'm about to go inside. And at this point, I'm like, wow, he's really gonna try and do it again, didn't he? So I go back up to the place, and he's in the exact same spot he was in last time. There's a police officer just standing there. So the implication is he was waiting for me to go back inside and go to sleep so he could continue doing stuff to my dream state. I don't know how they're doing it. It's not helping me. And I feel like I have to say something about it because you could use this technology for some pretty bad shit. All right, I don't know why they're doing this, but they're doing it. I think that's all. So the modified dreams are always going to be something weird. There's always going to be some catch to them. It's always going to seem like it's trying to mess with you because it is. So there's no real way to describe it. They're using some form of technology to modify your dreams through your memory, just like the modified memories thing. And then very quickly that becomes a nightly thing. Every night you're sleeping and you're having these modified dreams. And if you don't say nothing about it, if you don't make some sort of attempt, they're just going to keep doing it. And I know they're modified dreams because one time I saw a commercial play as though it were a video file in my brain. So I know this is real shit. I know that they're actually doing this. I don't know what kind of technology was in the police car, but really think about it. Really think about everything I just told you. Does that seem natural to you? It doesn't. So I'm definitely going to be leaving very soon. I just don't know what I'm going to do, who I'm going to be going with, if anyone. I imagine I'm probably going to be doing this alone. And, well, they already know where I'm going to be going. They already know I'm going to go off to the desert, or I'm going to go into the desert. They already know I'm going to go do a bunch of stuff like that, and that I don't want nothing to do with them. Uh, I was also thinking Canada. Canada seems like a good place to go. But at the same time, I don't like the government in Canada, and the same gang stalking program that exists in the States exists in Canada. Do you understand? This isn't just happening here. happening here in Ohio. It's happening in Canada. It's happening in other countries. Philippines, France. France is happening in France. Germany. What else? Right off the top of my head, that's all I know about. So it's going to be coming into the public scope of vision very soon because they've become too brave. They've become too brazen. And they've done too much damage for it to just be, invisible to even normal people that just don't see. Like it's just gonna become something that's happening to everyone, and that's it. That's all. That's the one headlight. That's the people following you around in cars. That's the people following you around honking at you. That's the people beaming voices into your head, giving you fake dreams. All right. If I sound mental, just really, really actually listen without a bias. Like, don't come in here with the preconceived notion that I'm completely mental and everything I'm talking about is a pure illusion because it's not. Okay. So all has to do with electromagnetism. Your brain waves are electromagnetic. If they can modify the electromagnetic pattern that your brain wakes up and goes to sleep to, then they can control your dream state. They can control what you're hearing. They can control what you're thinking. They can control where your thoughts are going to be directed. They can control just about everything that has to do with your thought process. And if you don't realize that's what's happening, it'll just keep happening. That's what they do. They use subtle, subliminal, and overt thought implants to control you, to control your thought. This is what they're doing. There's a lot of subliminals that have been thrown at me in just this year, but my whole life I've been getting them thrown at me. These subliminals are rarely ever anything good. I'm telling you that right now. When people start saying key shit to you, tune them the fuck out. Like seriously. Like I've seen video of these people throwing up their subliminals. So let me just repeat it exactly. It was this channel, Nappy Head Roots. He was going through the gangstalking program, and what they would do is they would send people, vulnerable people, mentally vulnerable people, to come to his car and say subliminals. I'm gonna give you the exact example of the subliminals she threw at him. Key game players and sleep tight. That's an example of someone sneaking subliminals in to their speech. Why would someone say something like that? She's ultimately alluding to the key game players putting people to sleep, hence sleep tight. They'll pass it off as a mental illness, but we know better. They're faking mental illness to try to exonerate themselves from any sort of exposure, I guess. So that's another thing the gang stalking program does. It'll hack people's brains in real time. It will send people to come and act mentally ill to you. That, or it'll send people who are actually mentally ill to you. And all of these people are being exploited anyway. Uh, they just have people come to you, waste your time, and put on an act, and fuck with your head. That's what they'll do. And they'll exploit real people to do this. Targets, they'll exploit people on their program. Stalkers. Program exploits targets and stalkers. So yeah, everyone's under mind control. This is the proof.